Throughout this documentary, we will discuss the events leading up to the ratification of the 19th Amendment, the actual ratification, and the effects it had on the future of the United States.
Desire for women's voting rights sparked from the restrictive gender roles employed via societal and governmental rules and laws. The United States law denied women their rights in ways like preventing ownership of property, hindering the right to legally claim any money they earn, and most notoriously, prohibiting the right to vote. Another obstacle facing women was the roles embedded into societal norms, roles such as being the primary housekeeper and taking care of the home necessities. Women were generally discouraged from forming political opinions. Due to the lack of consideration and representation of the interests of women in society, specifically politically, women started taking action. Women's groups mostly focused on gaining the right to vote. These groups petitioned with arguments like natural rights, in which women are affected by laws, therefore they should have a say in making them. Sarah Moore Grimke, known abolitionist and notably the mother of the suffrage movement, stated, "I know nothing of a man's or woman's rights. Human rights are all that I recognize." Other factors used to promote the inclusion of women in politics includes no taxation without representation, where women are wage workers and pay taxes. Therefore, they deserve to decide how legislators use these taxes by vote. A tactic also used to persuade the advancement of women's suffrage was how women would clean up politics and replenish legislation to function humanely and be inclusive of morals. The Pennsylvania Avenue protest was a significant event and contributor to the extremes that protesters would take to gain their deserved rights. Over 5,000 suffragists paraded down Pennsylvania Avenue in 1913. This and many others is a crucial example exhibiting the severe lengths women took to obtain a voice. Confrontational methods were practiced by many, such as picketing, silent vigils, and even hunger strikes. Before any major protests occurred, the groundwork for grievances was drawn up at the first Women's Rights Convention in Seneca Falls. In this debate and discussion, resolutions were established with the signing of the Declaration of Sentiments drafted by Elizabeth Cady Stanton. Around 100 men and women contributed, and topics of equal rights in areas of property and education were settled. These debates and protests marked the beginning of feminism in America, otherwise known as First Wave Feminism. Feminism continues to climb and develop in new waves, and it all began with women's suffrage.
In 1869, there was an outrage from women's rights movements due to the 14th Amendment being ratified and the 15th Amendment being proposed. The Wyoming Territory decided to introduce a bill which would allow women over 21 years and older the right to vote. That December, Wyoming passed the first women's suffrage law in the nation, allowing women the right to vote and hold public office. Other states followed and continued to add women's suffrage laws until the 19th Amendment was ratified. In 1878, the 19th Amendment was first introduced to the Congress. On the 18th of August, 1920, the amendment was ratified. The House of Representatives voted 308 to 89 and the Senate 56 to 25 in favor of the amendment. The 19th Amendment reads, "The right of citizens of the United States to vote shall not be denied or abridged by the United States or by any state on the account of sex. Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation." To summarize, the amendment guarantees that citizens will not be denied the right to vote on the basis of sex, giving women the right to vote. Congress can implement this amendment with the means they deem appropriate.
After the 19th Amendment was ratified, it had a number of impacts on American society, both directly and indirectly. Although the societal systems implemented in the United States today often still prefer men, the conditions today are much better than how they were when America was founded, as previously discussed. The ratification of the 19th Amendment was one of the major events that allowed women to move closer to equality. There has been definite proof that the 19th Amendment has impacted voting and the outcome of elections. According to Census.gov, during the 2020 presidential election, 68.4% of eligible women voted, while 65% of eligible men voted. In years earlier, from 2019 to 1981, more eligible women voted than eligible men. And even in 1980, the amount of eligible men and women who voted were equal. This clearly proves the impact the 19th Amendment has had since it was created, as without it, more than half of the votes during elections would be gone. Even after women were granted suffrage, the women's rights movement continued, especially throughout the 1960s and 70s. This period of time is often referred to as the second wave of feminism, where activists focused on women's experiences in life, including work, family, sexuality, and more. The 19th Amendment being ratified likely acted as a motivator for supporters of women's rights to continue protesting and working towards equality. One focus of the second wave of feminism was equal pay for equal work. Due to the second wave, the Equal Pay Act of 1963 was passed, which protects against wage discrimination on the basis of sex. Feminism continues through the third wave in the 1990s, which focused on intersectionality, sex positivity, trans feminism, postmodern feminism, and more, and through the fourth wave in the 2010s, which focused on women empowerment, intersectionality, internet activism, gender marginalization and norms. Feminism is still extremely active today. The 19th Amendment was a crucial part, but the end of women seeking equal opportunities is nowhere near, as we still have a long way to go.